Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello from Dubai. I'm Zara Druitt, and here we are, brand new season of the 2021 Asian Le Mans Series. As you can see behind me, everybody is getting ready in anticipation for race one. We are here at the Dubai Autodrome. Thankfully, it's a sunny afternoon, sorry. We're all super excited. I want to introduce you to our commentators, Graham Goodwin and Oliver Gavin, who are up there in the commentator box. Guys, take it away.
Thanks so much, Zara. It's great to be back with the Asian Le Mans Series. It's been a long wait, and there's a whole lot of new to talk about over the next 16 hours of racing over just 2 weekends. Let's get the first bit over first. New co-commentator this season, Ollie Gavin, motor racing legend. Delighted to have you here, Ollie. You've been trawling the paddock for the last few days. What have you been finding?
Oh, it's great to be here. It's super exciting. You know, there's 3 classes, 36 cars on the grid, over 100 drivers. There's plenty of action to come up in the next 4 hours. It's going to be great fun.
Remember, 2 races here in Dubai, one today, one tomorrow, all of it live and free globally across a huge array of streaming and broadcast platforms. And then you've just got one more week to wait. We move on to Yas Marina for another 2 4-hour races. That's the season. Obviously, it's extraordinary times. Amazing job done by the Asian Le Mans Series. Ollie, take us around.
Okay, 5.39 kilometres here at the Dubai Autodrome. 16 turns. Turn 1 is tricky downhill, a little bit bumpy. Got to be using a lot of curb at 1 and 2. But then it comes over a crest and then down into the sequence of 6 and 7. 7 is the lowest part of the racetrack. But then as you come through and into 9, that's the bank corner onto the back straight. Long back straight all the way up the hill. As you can then coming into 10. Critical braking point into 10. Bumpy, tricky, but an important part for action, I believe. And through 11, 12, another great overtaking opportunity. Then one of the trickiest corners on the track, turn 14, that's a double apex, and you've really got to be on your game there to make sure that you get good runoff, and then into 16, downhill braking before that final turn, and out over that exit curb. That could be an area where you get pinged for the dreaded track limits. But it's going to be a challenging racetrack, challenging conditions. You know, the temperature is rising all the time, so I feel we're in for a great race.
Hello and welcome to the new season, the 2021 Asian Le Mans Series. I'm Zara Druitt and I'm here at the Dubai Autodrome with Graham Goodwin. Now, I know there's been some change in this year's new schedule, but Graham, could you shed some light on what this new format entails?
It was an extraordinary year last year for so many reasons, but it's going to be an extraordinary new season of the Asian Le Mans Series like none we've seen before. 2 races this weekend in Dubai, 2 races next weekend in Abu Dhabi. By the end of next weekend, we'll know not only who the championship winners are, but the names of the teams that will be going to the 2021 Le Mans 24 Hours.
I wanted to ask, what's the difference between the qualifying that's going to happen on Friday and the races on the weekend?
The change here at Dubai, just 1 set of qualifying sessions to determine the grid for both of the races. 15 minutes to determine the grids for 2 4-hour races here in Dubai.
Wow, well, I'm really excited and looking forward to it all. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms.
Hi, I'm Oliver Gavin here at the Dubai Autodrome, and we're about to go on board in the number 28 car with Sean Galil. Okay, coming out onto the pit straight here in the Dubai Autodrome, over the start-finish line, coming up into 6th gear, pit lane exit on the right-hand side, coming into turn 1, heavy brake zone downhill here, trying to make your way across the track, clipping that curb on the right, and then you're using some of the curb here also on the left, all the way over that, back uphill again. These are fast sweepers, again over to the right-hand side of the track, just trying to set up for this next series of corners coming down into 5 and 6. Using a lot of curb. This is the lowest point on the track right here. You've got to cut back, getting all the way back over this curb on the apex. Mindful of your exit, can be tricky there. And then coming through, and this is coming up to the banked corner, the most banked corner on the racetrack. Making sure you've got to hit your apex late, and then using the road all the way out over the exit curb, up the longest straight on the track here, all the way up through the gears, going heavily uphill here. Now we're now trying to pick our brake point for turn 10. And heavy on the brakes here into making sure that we're getting across to that apex curb again, using all the road on the exit, but then it's a fast sweeper to the left, all the way over that curb as well if you can, using all the road, and then another very heavy brake zone up here at the top of the hill. Try not to use too much of the curb there, and out over that exit curb, and we're coming up through the gears again, making sure we're keeping the energy in the car, really working the track here. It's quite a tricky brake zone here, a little bit of a kink, and then you're hard into this brake zone. You want to get a late apex out of here because there's a fast couple of sweepers after this. You've got to make sure that you really work this speed into the next right-hander. Then pit lane entry on the right-hand side. You're over the crest here, and then onto the brakes. Final corner coming up, over this curb on the apex, trying to keep it nice and tight, and then let the car run out, all the speed out onto the main pit straight here. I hope you enjoyed the lap. Stick with us for all the action this weekend at the Dubai Autodrome.
Qualifying at the Dubai Autodrome at the start of the 2021 Asia Le Mans Series saw the cars out in a single qualifying session per class for the 2 races this weekend. 19 GT3 cars, a record grid in that class, and a record grid overall at 36 cars. The 93 Precoat Herbeth car and the 99, the sister car, in the thick of the action would set pole position for the 99 car for Saturday's race, 93 for Sunday. LMP3 with 10 cars out on track, and immediately the CD Sport car of Adam Atiki, young French driver, was in the thick of things for the Spanish team, making their debut in Asia. 33 car up at the sharp end, until that United Autosports came into play. Duncan Tappy to the top of the times before Wayne Boyd, the reigning European Le Mans Series champion, put his stamp on proceedings, setting pole for both races in a display of speed and consistency. P2 and 7 cars out on track. Sean Galale in the Jota Sport car, the 28. Nicky Thiem, the reigning WEC GTE Pro Drivers Champion, having his first run in LMP2 this weekend. He'd be 3rd quickest. The 2 G-Drive racing cars took control of the session. Chinese driver Yifei Ye in the 26, but young 17-year-old Argentinian Franco Colapinto in the 25. The young man would be on pole position for both Saturday and Sunday's races in his first ever run in a sports car. Fantastic result for G-Drive Racing and for Algarve Pro. 36 cars lining up for race 1 in Dubai, with the G-Drive RS pair locking out the front row. Topping LMP3 is the 23 United Autosports Ligier. That's the first of 10 LMP3 cars in this extraordinary grid. Beyond that, we get into the GT grid, and it's the Precoat Herbeth Porsche heading a Porsche 1-2 with a GPX racing car. These 2 of another record, 19 GT cars for this 2021 season in the Asian Le Mans Series. And we go racing for the first time in 2021. G-Drive cars, but right in the wheel tracks of the front row. Sean Galale moves to the inside of the 28 car and is going to take the lead into the first turn. Jota go forward, a bit of a twitch though through the turn. He's off the track and followed off by the G-Drive racing car. It's going to be the Phoenix car that goes to the lead. So Phoenix Racing, in the hands of Simon Trummer, goes from 4th to the lead, courtesy of a bit of wheel-to-wheel action for the cars ahead. A bit of a late braking manoeuvre from Sean Galale proved to be too late. Big gaggle though of GT cars at the back there.
Yeah, certainly that start, you could see that the Jota car was coming down the inside. He maybe got a bit of sand on his tyres and he just ran wide.
Still tussling away in the GT3s, with 1 or 2 of the cars running wide, side by side down the main start-finish straight. Here though is our GT class winner, as you quite rightly say. He is from GPX Racing, GPX Racing, based right here at the circuit in the new Techno Park on the lead down, by the way, on the inside to turn 1. It's front bodywork off the pretty little Ginetta, brand new car. They've been having some problems with just new car niggles here. Yeah. ARC Bratislava. Looking around where maybe the reservoirs are for the brake system, and maybe clutch as well. Or maybe a front suspension issue. This battle, as the 2 Nielsen Racing cars look to move in and rather beat up the Iron Force Ring Police liveried Phoenix Racing car. There is the GT leader ahead of this pack. That is a mark of the progress that has been made by Julien Andlauer. There's lots of different parts of the racetrack that you're going to see the GT3 car just that little bit quicker, but the LMP3 car, once you get the pro drivers in it, you should see quite a big difference in overall lap time. So it's all happening, and we're seeing now the leading pack, and this is giving Sean Gelael an opportunity to get right back with the Phoenix car. That's not 2.4 seconds anymore. If he can keep this together, it's going to be more or less on the back end of the Phoenix car as they complete this lap, but also making hay through traffic is the third place car. It is René Binder coming through in third place. So from 2.5 seconds, we're down to 0.5 seconds for the leading trio. Got the LMDHs to come as they gain. That's side by side. That was almost contact there with the lead car. He's in a hurry, and that's why it's a touch. It's a touch. And that was Sean Gelael, and there was a further touch as the number 5 car went backwards, clipped the car that had already hit him. So the Phoenix car is going to get moving, but there's definitely damage on the 5 car. And there was bodywork flying there, Oliver. Yeah,
it was a rather opportunistic move there, coming down the inside, the Jota car.
Repair going to be needed, isn't it, for the number 5 car?
They're not going to bring it in the box. These long extension pieces they have to try and undo that rear deck and that rear wing assembly.
And they're struggling to
get
that.
Yeah, they are. Maybe
off.
That's damaged. And this may also be the first time that Phoenix have tried to do this in race conditions.
Let's have a look and see exactly what happened here. Ollie, take us through this.
Okay, so the Jota car's coming down the inside. He just got on the curb and then he's clipped the rear of the Phoenix car. And then as the Phoenix car is spun, it's then just caught the Jota car. I mean, it was a very opportunistic move there.
Has left him with that damage. They'll try and fix that. I'm sure in the first pit stop.
He has got front end damage as well, hasn't he?
It's not the easiest element to fix.
Yeah, he's missing one of the dive planes of the right side of the nose.
And Lauer still leads in GT, and his advantage over Maxime Martin is, let's have a quick look at that, it's just under 15 seconds. So it's been a heck of an opening stint from Julian Andlauer.
It has. He's driven extremely well.
Okay, 24 laps completed for the number 26 car, and he's going to have a very big lead at this point. Racing Team India, by the way, in for the second time, so this will be, well, an extended test with these guys at this stage, and that's not what they were hoping for.
Well, no, but at this point in the race you're thinking, okay, get the car back out and let's see if we can pick up some spots, because you just never know who's going to have an incident, who's going to drop out. You know, you've got to get back out there and just start going.
In LMP3, Rory Penttinen, 6th overall at the moment, with a couple of problems for the LMP2 cars. And he's got 12 seconds over teammate, 13 seconds over teammate Andrew Bentley. That's the 23 and the number 3 United cars. GT, still Julian Landlauer, and still about 16 seconds to the good from Maxime Martin.
Oh, we've got a spin there. We've got a spin.
That is the Ligier, that's the 11 car.
Yeah.
High-nosed car, very distinctive.
He's now driven right off into the runoff, and he's going to have an awful lot of sand on his tyres.
Well, the first of 16 hours of race action for the Asian Le Mans Series. It's been fast and it's been furious. The pack of LMP3 and GT3 cars tussling away as Julian Andlauer got well away in the GPX Racing Porsche to build a commanding lead in the opening stint of this race. The number 40 car based here at the Dubai Autodrome, and Andlauer is well ahead of the field after a stint that just took him well clear of some of the carnage behind. The number 4 car, Phoenix Racing, making their debut in LMP3, but dominating the going has been a pair of United Autosports car that have been the class of the field, in particular Rory Penttinen, the number 23 car, just emerged from his first pit stop after building a substantial lead in the LMP2 overall class. The number 25 car, that car starting the race in the hands of John Falb. The number 28 car in the hands of Sean Gelael, just lost second place after a bit of a spin for the number 28 Jota car, competing here under their own flag for the first time, but leading the race as we get into hour 2, René Binder in the number 26 G-Drive Racing Auris. And that team there, in comes the 35 BMW.
They're making a driver change.
Yeah, this is the GT Am effort, 2 BMWs here. Nicky Katzberg we'll see later in the 34 car.
Is it Henry Volkenhurst getting out of the car? And here we're seeing something that does happen. The P3 car going a little bit slowly here, maybe just out of the pits. It's being passed by GT cars, and yes, the car guy Ferrari had to take avoiding action. He's now got sand on his tyres.
26 car though moves on.
So Stoffel will do this middle section of the race. I think he can do 1.5 hours of driving.
Yep.
and then it'll be Sean Galil to be in again to finish.
Few, if any, major series across the world that actually have the same mix of cars.
Yes, it is. It is unusual, and it's great to see. You know, you're seeing some a tricky track, you know, low grip, with a good mix of different cars and classes, and the drivers are working hard. They really are trying to keep the car, the tyre, manage the stint length, and it's aggressive conditions out there.
This is the Racing Team India car.
Yeah.
We've not really had a close look at this effort, and it's great to see them here. Narain Karthikeyan got bored apparently in lockdown and came up with this idea. Well done, Narain. Has led a test session so far this week and has got alongside him in this team the talents of young Arjun Maini, with a Maini family outing here this week with his younger brother Kush in the F3 Asia Championship, and Naveen Rao we've already spoken about, the reigning IMSA champion. Away goes the 64 car. So almost at the end of the first 90 minutes, out goes the number 64 car. That is Arjun Maini.
Yep.
Young Indian driver we've seen already in LMP2 competition, knows the Orica package well. That car, though, is under investigation for pit lane speed, and I have to tell you, the hit rate of investigation versus penalty when that comes up is about 100%.
Yeah.
Indeed, Rennie Binder. Green from the start. Q chaos somewhere out there.
And the 64 car has to have its team manager go immediately to race control, which is never a good sign.
It's not tea and biscuits, is it?
Definitely not.
So 26 car.
So Rene is out. Is that Hatzberg going in?
That looked like it might be Mr. Hatzberg. Was that? I think he's certainly taller than Yifei.
Yeah, I think it was Hatzberg.
We're going to go down to the pit lane though. Zara has got G-Drive Racing to talk to us.
Yeah, that was quite a good run for me. I had good pace out there, start went well. I mean, it was a bit tricky in turn 1 in the beginning. I was P2 then from the first lap on. Then I tried just to manage the gap. I was once a bit unlucky with traffic when the shoulder car passed us. But after that I tried to keep it constant and safe. So the two cars crashed in front of me. So and then after there was like a 35 laps left in the stint, and yeah. I tried to push but still keep it safe, and yeah, I'm quite happy with the performance, and let's see what the other two drivers do now, and should be quite a good result.
Looking very, very professional indeed. Also, by the way, on the team's winning CV, 2018, I think it was 2018, 2019, I'm losing track of years with this pandemic, at Spa 24 Hours, and the first big result indeed for GP Extreme, and their facility here, packed with goodies. Certainly when you're able to come back and visit Dubai as a race fan, you are welcome in their race shop, and it's literally a shop, and more or less everything in there is for sale. The unique Mackie Formula 1 car is amongst the fabulous collection of goodies in their units here. That is the 40 car. Big tussle here, 3 LMP3 Ligiers and the G-Drive Racing car. We'll need to get through without drama. It's busy out there, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, when it's this section of the track is one of the hardest points to navigate with all of this traffic. That
is a battle for position, by the way. That is the number 3 car, Jim Maguire, fending off the 15, the RLR M Sport car. That is for 3rd position. Tony Wells also in there. That is 3 cars battling for 3rd position in LMP3. So we'll stick with this if we can, please, Mr. Director Sir Imam, because this could get very interesting. Tony Wells, the gold-nosed car, the orange and black RLR car in the middle, at the front, United Autosports, and 3 title-winning teams here. United Autosports, we've already talked about, multiple titles in a stellar 2020. RRM Sports, previous ELMS LMP3 champions, and Nielsen Racing are reigning Asian Le Mans Series champions. So 2 European Le Mans Series champions versus an Asian Le Mans Series champion. And good for the home team. Up the inside goes Tony Wells to take that position, and he's now going to try to latch on to the rear of Jim Maguire and see whether or not Nielsen Racing, after a trying 2020 in Europe, might start to put smiles back on faces.
Yeah, these are all bronze drivers battling against one another, and what's brought these guys together is that traffic.
Yep.
Trying to deal with that traffic and not getting held up or getting held up, bunching them together, and then it's how they deal with it, how they process it.
About the mindset of a gentleman driver in mixed class racing, as Tony Wells is taking that place. That's been a great lap from Tony.
Yeah.
Up the inside, he goes up into third position. There's a big lock up there from the CD Sport car. That's the 33 car. It's been one of the form cars this weekend. That's Adam Atiki. He's been the form driver this weekend. He's already, by the way, up with the 15 car and looking to get through and get into that battle for third place.
Yeah, he's a bit wounded, that 33 though, isn't it? He's missing a dive plane off the nose, and it's missing that cheese wedge off the back.
Yeah.
And that's certainly going to be hurting his, maybe not outright single lap speed, but over a stint.
Yeah, lock up ahead of him.
And it's likely that right front lockup that he had into turn 10 was down to missing a dive plane off the right front corner.
But, what I would say is this: if you're looking at two aggressive dogs and one's got a few chunks out of him, he's probably more angry and probably more able to fight. And it looks at the moment like Adam Atiki is certainly taking the fight to the cars ahead of him. And it's going to be for Tony Wells to do what he can do to get out of this fight the best way possible by finding pace and drawing out the gap. But Atiki is going by the United Autosports car. He goes up into fourth position. Yeah,
Adam Atiki's, his average over this stint, which is 23 laps, is some 3 seconds a lap faster than the guys in front. He shouldn't take long before he's past Jimmy Maguire and even on to Tony Wells. Yeah, Tony Wells, he's right with him almost. The two LMP2 cars passing Tony didn't help his campaign. He's done a good job to pull away from Jim Maguire, but I don't think he's going to have much in the glove box to resist Adam Atiki, who is closing rapidly. Well, he's falling back, I think, for the 99 car. So he passed the 99 to unlap himself in the second place car in the class, but was then reeled back in, repassed, so he's now lapped by the first and second place cars in class, and has dropped back, I think, from the 99. Yeah, he's 12th. Yeah, he's 12th, so making progress up through the field. He was 15th when he got in the car. Just looking to see what that lead gap is now in the GT class. It is 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Two Astons, two G-Drive cars. It's the 88 car there with, is that the 70? No, it's not the 77, that's the 95, I think. Yeah, 95. That's the TF car on the outside, rather, inside of the previous turn, the 88. And it's Alexander West. Yep, that's not for position. So Alexander West, third position. So that's the teammate to Maxime Martin. Yep, and Alexander West will have his mirrors, peeled on his mirrors with Rino Mastronardi, a very rapid bronze driver, and there he is in the red Ferrari behind. That was the car that was missing the wing mirror, wasn't it? The 55, was. Yeah. So we need to keep an eye on that. That will have a slightly extended stop, and Alexander will be made aware of the fact that that place could be retaken if he loses it in a pit stop, because it will be. Well, actually, no. Thinking about it, of course, if you can do it in 110 seconds. Yep. Giorgio Roda was just given a track limits warning at turn 16. He's pushing hard, trying to make up some time there. The Kessel entry. Keeping an eye just on how the ebb and flow of this is going as we get closer and closer to the halfway mark. These drivers, these teams, we're finding out a lot about why their life is going to be for the next week or so. Yep. Yeah, and it's, they'll be learning a huge amount just from this one race, this constant running, the stints. They'll be looking at all the averages. They'll be, when the tyres come off, the Michelin engineers will be sitting there examining them. They'll be looking at their fuel consumption. They'll be just looking at what all their estimates were for coming here, and then actually what the numbers are. So the engineers will be crunching those, and they'll be trying to make adjustments for future pit stops and what pressures they can run in the tyres, how they're adjusting them with the track temperature coming down. Yep. all these things that every team will just be sitting there crunching the numbers, and the backroom staff will be really working that very, very hard right now, making sure that they've got the car, tyre, fuel, everything to an optimum for these last 2 hours. Yeah.
After the LMS were forced into a position through the pandemic to abandon their plans to go to Barcelona and go back to Paul Ricard for a second time, and we had a conversation about how good or bad that was for the man that Ricard is supporting in the LMS. That's Hollywood actor Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
Which Ricard's position was, it's absolutely ideal for him because it shows him against a yardstick he can remember and can understand just how much he's learned between those two races. Here, the lessons are going to be delivered even quicker.
Exactly. And just a little bit more info on the leading tussle between Yves and Stoffel van Dorn. Their average
trouble.
Oh.
I think there's trouble out at turn 13 somewhere. 63 is off the track. That was the D-Car engineering car. But it looked to me that...
Oh, they've had a troubled race.
Yes, they have. But I think that was just a lock-up for the Ginetta. But the D-Car car with yellow flags there is stopped off at turn 13.
Right. Yeah, so with Yves and Stoffel van Dorn, yeah, the average is there. Yves got an average of 149.24 and Stoffel's got an average of 148.9, so they're pretty much punch for punch there.
Yeah.
Not making much progress. Stoffel isn't, and G-Drive will be very, very pleased with that.
Indeed. Now this is the Ginetta, still making its way through. Miro Konopka's been in that car from the very start and will complete his stint at around the 2 hour mark. We've still got Charlie Robertson and Tom Cloet to come, Belgian driver, and the...
Doesn't look very happy, that car.
It doesn't, does it?
No, a huge amount of understeer there through turn 1.
Work to do for ARC Bratislava and Ginetta. They've got the pretty bit right. It's a pretty little package. That the thing now needs to become a race car.
You can have the ugliest car in the world. You just want it to be fast. That's
Yep.
all any driver or team owner is bothered about. It can be super ugly. You just want it to be fast.
Absolutely. 3 GT cars together, and this is Alexander West.
That battle's still going on, isn't it?
is.
Raging.
So those 3 cars within just over a second, and as we've got another battle, and this is the battle between the 2 LMP2 AM cars, but they are on different laps. Neil Muston is aboard the Euro International Ligier. Neil has been a regular contender here in the Asian Le Mans Series in a variety of machinery, often LMP3, but on occasion LMP2 cars. Carl Tilley, the other of the Rolex 24 winning drivers from LMP2.
The Hub Auto car's got a problem, I think. It's just pitting. It came off of turn 14 very slowly.
Right.
There's a whole gaggle of cars coming in. Is there something they know?
Full course yellow, that's why.
That's the reason why.
So first 2 hours of this race and of the season, and it's been a hectic one. There we go with the GT cars, LMP3 cars in the mix, and it's been close with those classes throughout. That was Mikkel Jensen looking to get a pass in on the number 77 car, running off track as a result. That allowed the number 99 car to retake the laps advantage on the 57. Precut Herberth running in second position in GT. But this car, the number 40 GPX Racing Porsche 911 GT3R, now in the hands of Axel Jeffrey, has absolutely dominated from the off after a spectacular opening stint from Julian Andlar. In LMP3, the number 8 car, the number 9 car, of the Nielsen Racing team, and the number 4 car from Phoenix Racing have been in the mix as the pit stops ebbed and flowed in what's been a spectacular and colourful display from LMP3. But the 23 United Autosports car, Rory Penton started the car, now in the hands of Manuel Maldonado, is in a very strong position indeed. In LMP2 and leading the race after a clash between the Jota Sport car, these 2 cars in fact that cost both time, were in lead battle, but it is the 26 car of G-Drive Racing, now in the hands of Yifei Ye, the Chinese driver, that leads the race comfortably.
The GPX team here.
Yep.
Just going over their data, looking at everything that they use to work out what's what within the car, all the telemetry. In the GT cars now, they've got lots of different systems which have been developed over really the last 10 years, and my team, my ex-team at Corvette Racing were leading the way for a long time with rear view camera systems, radar systems. After many years of dealing with P cars coming up behind us and us dealing with traffic. And so that was something that was a great development, and then Bosch took it on and then started selling that on to lots of other GT manufacturers, and nearly all of these cars, GT cars, I'm sure they've got those systems in there.
It's very crowded there. Mikkel Jensen forced to the inside with the Ginetta checking up behind. I think he's rather surprised by the braking point of the GT car ahead. Still 3 wide with the LMP, that's the Aero Motorsport car.
Using the cobbles there on the right hand side. Now that is a bit of a risky move. When I was running around the track earlier on in the week, that did not look a nice surface to drive on, but he's made it through.
It's a very busy part of the track, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, I put into the melting pot.
I guess the other question is this: it's a team sport without a shadow of a doubt, and in addition to which you've got here lots of customer racing, privately owned teams, privately funded teams, but there's also a lot of interest from the manufacturers involved in these efforts. What is that atmosphere like? I mean, is it fairly tribal? What is the level of professional and personal respect between those factory drivers?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to be out there racing against, whether you've got a Giancarlo Fisichella or a Johnny Adam or a Nicky Katzberg there in the GT class. They all know one another. They all respect one another, but they all want to beat one another. There's that sort of quiet respect that they have, what everybody's achieved for their manufacturer at certain times. But it's you want to win.
Absolutely. There we go with the team at the moment that's been leading almost from the start, the 40 GPX racing car, depending on the rating of that driver. And there's a rating system controlled by the FIA. So when we talk about these maximum minimums, we'll try to explain that as best we can. Realise we are talking to a big global audience with the Asia Le Mans Series this year for a variety of factors, good and bad. If you're at home and if you're in lockdown, we're with you. Around the world, we're delighted to join you in your homes this year and enjoy the show. There's going to be lots of it. We are an hour and 38 minutes away from the end of this race. There is well over 12 hours, 13 hours of racing still to go in this season, and it's all going to be done within the next 10 days.
So yeah, I was in the car for the first stint for the start. Went pretty well. I had to stay a little bit out of the troubles, and I think we did pretty well. Now Axel is in the car for the second stint. He does a double and he does a mega job, so we're pretty happy with the situation. We have different options for the end of the race, so we'll try to take the best opportunity, and looking forward to see how it goes.
Okay, well, I'm interested to see what the different options are for the number 40 car, because does that mean that Alan's not going to get in? But surely he has to.
If it's a nominated driver, he has
to get in. Yeah.
I mean, there are penalties if you don't put a nominated driver in, which, as I recall, the wording of the regulations are penalties up to and including exclusion.
Yes. So I can't really see what that is. But so Axel is on his second stint now.
So let's just go through some of the running order. You've got the running order on the left-hand side of the screen there. G-Drive Racing still do lead this race. It's still 1 minute and 42 seconds. Yet that has not moved more than tenths from Yifei Ye. It's a great run from the Chinese driver on his debut here. In LMP3, Manuel Maldonado, not the brother of Pastor Maldonado, apparently, is now 1 minute and 26 seconds ahead of Leo Weiss, and Weiss having a good run at this. Although as I say it, what's just happened to the Phoenix Racing car? He's just dropped 2 positions.
Yeah.
So that is a battle we need to be looking at in LMP2.
Yeah.
So Colin Noble jets up to second position.
In P3.
In P3. So P3, Maldonado leads and leads comfortably. Colin Noble 90 seconds back, just ahead of Malte Jakobsen, just ahead of Leo Weiss, who's just lost 2 positions on that lap, and Adam Atiki is in that battle as well. The battle for second position in LMP3 right now, almost nose to tail, but with GT cars and an LMP2 car in the mix. So cracking battle there for very significant positions and points.
Yeah, absolutely. They're certainly going to be in a fight for those podium positions. And Colin Noble is driving well. Leo Weiss, Adam Atiki, he's still hanging on in there, even with all that damage on his car.
Yep.
He's doing an absolutely solid job.
He is indeed. And Malte Jakobsen, by the way, got a good run out of the turn at the end of the main straight, and I think has made up a bit of ground on Colin Noble. Whereas Adam Atiki might just have been a bit more bottled up. There is Colin Noble, second car on that little train. Then it's Jakobsen right with him. Atiki is a couple of cars further back in that trail, and then George Weiss dropping back a little here. So this is absolutely one to watch right now.
I'm still trying to fathom out what the GPX strategy is.
I can only think it's when do you put 30 in? It must be that. I don't suppose they've got an issue on tyres.
No, I mean, to me,
so
the drive time.
Through goes the G-Drive car from Noble. There you are. That is second and third in LMP3. Ignore for a moment the G-Drive car.
Yep.
The gold and white car there. Then the orange and black car.
Atiki flashing the lights.
So he's now just got one GT car between him and his target, which is the battling pair there. Atiki looks up the inside, can't do it there on the 54 car. There's George Weiss with a couple of GT cars still to play with. And then up the inside of the 95 Aston Martin goes the 93 Precott Herbeth car.
Yeah.
So it's all happening right now. He's won races in LMP3, multiple races in LMP3. Malte Jakobsen, who's been scoring podiums for RRM Sport, has been, I think, one of the revelations of the MP3 class in the last 12 months. Expect him to be, rising and standing through the next year or two. Putting some storming drives in the Road to Le Mans races at the Le Mans 24 Hours and support the Le Mans 24 Hours this year after pretty lowly starting positions and was in contention for podiums at the end. And then we see Adam Atiki, who I think we both agree has been one of the stars so far this week. Where is he? Still hasn't passed the BMW. I'm as certain as I can be that he stopped under green flag running, and I was wrong, and I didn't see him pitting on a full course yellow.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can see he could possibly have lost that kind of chunk of time in that period of the race. So here's the 18 car. This is...
It's going to open the door for the Phoenix car to possibly...
yes, indeed.
Get back on terms with the Jota car if they have an issue. Yep,
90 seconds is the gap. And by the way, Phoenix car is being caught again by the number 25 car. Car's had some traumas through the race so far. So the 25 car is not out of the hunt as most of the GT cars in the pack descend upon us in short order. Drive-through penalty it's going to be for car 11. That's still the same one. Have they not taken it?
No, I don't think they have.
So there.
Track limits. So that's the reason for the 28 car. I'm pretty sure it's a track limits issue.
Right.
You know, with the damage that's on his car, he can't. He hasn't got anything left to battle with.
It's a mark, isn't it? Oh, that's contact there. That's the 54 car turned around.
Yeah. Not sure if he just tagged the back of the Mercedes there. Might have just snuck by without any contact.
Mildly dour, I would say.
Okay.
Very focused.
Mm-hmm.
But deadly serious about his racing and super quick. Malte Jakobsen, you know, he's got that kind of bright, bushy teenage way about him.
Yep.
Very well prepared by the team that look after him, and looking forward to bright days ahead, I'm sure, for his career, as indeed Colin is.
Yep.
We've already seen Colin make his debut in the WEC at the final race of last season in GTM. And I strongly suspect these are two names we're going to be talking about for some years to come yet. So about 40 minutes on fuel for these cars, and so that's not quite where they'd want it as a fuel window, but that's affected, of course, by that full course yellow, and they had a bit of a penalty earlier, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think we'll take some learning points from that. He's had a little bit of P2 experience at Sebring, I think, last year. Oh, and that's side by side. That is for second position, and that's Colin Noble.
They are. Wheel to wheel.
Stumbling a little, I think, through the traffic, and rather bounced there by Jakobsen. Jakobsen makes the move. That's a cracking move from the young Dane.
Yes.
Great stuff. Colin will not be happy with that, but he'll be not happy with himself rather than with Jakobsen. That was great stuff from Jakobsen.
Jakobsen looked like he was just sitting there waiting for that opportunity, and when it came, he pounced, executed.
Great stuff.
Delivered.
More of that, please. So that is Colin Noble down to third position. Sean Gallale, by the way, back aboard the Jota car. So it's Habsburg, Galil, Nicky Thiem, Franco Colapinto, Narain Karthikeyan, Carl Tilley, Neil Muston is the order in LMP2. Manuel Maldonado from Malte Jakobsen, that gap is coming down. It's under 1:22 now with an hour and 9 minutes to go. So hour 3 of 4, and it's been a close run thing in more or less every class in the traffic galore with this big GT field. Pick up Herberth's car, the number 99 car, maintaining the momentum it's had through the middle of this race to sit in a very good second position, but not able to challenge the pretty peerless run we've had from the number 40 GPX Racing Porsche. Hans-Axel Jeffries handing over just as we get into the final hour to the evergreen Alain Ferté in LMP3. Massive battle for the podium positions. Colin Noble it is that's coming towards the end of this race in third. Malte Jakobsen executing a fantastic pass on Colin Noble, but up front and cruising on to fend off the pair behind is the number 23 car now in the hands of Manuel Maldonado. United Autosports looking good for the last hour of this race. LMP2. We've got the battle between the 5 or 6 cars. Phoenix Racing, though, emerging into third position, pushing hard on Sean Galil, who owes us a penalty earned during that third hour. But again, well ahead at the moment, the number 26 car, now in the hands of Ferdinand Habsburg. And that car holds something like a 100-second lead thanks to more or less faultless run from the G-Drive Racing crew. The hour 01 looking well set for a strong run to the finish.
Oh, the 23 car overshot its pit.
Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem with the timed pit stop, but not what you want.
No, just got to go through your procedure now, not get flustered, just do everything that you've been practicing. But sometimes when you try and rush it, you get flustered and you start making mistakes. That belt won't go in, or there's something going on with a seat insert, or you can't get the radio plug in, and all of a sudden it's got frantic. And from a very calm, cool and collected pit stop, you've gone to a sort of complete panic.
So the good news for the opposition is that there was a mistake there, it looks like, in the United Autosports pit stop. The bad news is they've got Wayne Boyd to plug into that car. And Wayne, of course, is the reigning champion in the European Le Mans Series in LMP3, was the class of the field without a shadow of a doubt in 2020 in Europe, and that's why, by the way, he overshot it, is because all 3 cars went at the same time.
Yeah, it's been great. I just finished my first in endurance race, and it was really good. The team has been doing an amazing job so far, leading the race from lap 1. My team Rory has been doing good. It's tough out there, it's really hot, a lot of traffic. It's all new to me, but nevertheless, I kept my head down, focused on the job ahead, and now it's just time for my team to finish the job and bring it home. Fantastic work from the team, and yeah, I couldn't be any happier.
Has had 3 stops, but one of them not up to the 110 seconds mark. So let's wait and see if that is right. That was...
That's a 15 car, I believe.
It was a 15 car. I don't think there was contact. I think he just went wide.
Went around on his own.
I think he possibly got the rear wheel over the curbs. So is that going to put that position in any doubts? It will, because Duncan Tappy, I think, is close enough that by the time the 15 car was recovered, that, by the way, Ollie, is a fantastic example of the commentator's curse. Colin Noble under no real pressure from behind, although Duncan Tappy is quicker, significantly quicker, in fact, running out of time to catch the Scot. So Tappy, 33 seconds back in third position. And last time around, 1.5 seconds, or slightly better, quicker than Colin Noble.
Yeah, what have we got here? We've mostly got, 17, 18 laps?
Yes, something like that. So the gaps that we have at the moment, remember, the top 3 cars owe us pit stops. It's 2 minutes and 5 seconds, the lead battle. And it's been like that for a while, and that's really come through error and trouble for most of the P2 teams here, with the exception of G-Drive Racing's 26 squad. That car now in the hands of Ferdinand Habsburg and have basically run a faultless race. 27 minutes to go. This is Ben Barnicoat. We've not seen enough of this car. The McLaren 720 SGT3. The first time we've seen this car in the Asian Le Mans series. Not the first McLaren. We've had the previous car, the 650 SGT3, taking the title some years ago in the hands of the now defunct, I'm afraid, Clearwater Racing. Sad to see them depart the international scene. They were firm favourites with the fans with their fabulous liveries. In comes the 26 car. This is the final stop inside the final half hour as the 57 takes its drive through behind. 17 consecutive weeks on the road for Optimum Motorsport with those McLarens.
Wow.
And that's some commitment to the cause for their customers, and for that matter, for the guys who spanner those cars, do everything else with those cars, and their families. Racing positions right now, but we're now with a real world battle. This is a position for a points makes prizes slot, and also with the G-Drive car going up the outside, as that I think that is there, to just drive by the battle for 5th place in LMP3, as Andy Merrick is trying to get onto terms with Jan-Erik Sluten.
And we're looking at that battle for first and second in GT. It's now down to 19 seconds, and it's 2 seconds a lap that Alfred is taking out of Alan.
I think he's going to catch him.
It's going to be really close.
That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, by the way, for British drivers at the moment.
Yes, fantastic to see.
And United, Nielsen, United. It's all come the way of the guys from Yorkshire, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Nielsen Racing will be correctly delighted with that form for second place car.
Colin's driven well, actually.
He has.
His last stint. He's been comfortably the fastest guy on track as well.
Yep, saw off with the exception of that extraordinary passing manoeuvre from Malte Jakobsen. I think he'd be punching the air with the form he's seen after troubles earlier this week.
Yep, without a doubt.
In GT, under 7 seconds now, the gap for Alfred Renard to work on Alan Ferte.
Alan may be using all of his experience with that. Oh, he's gone around.
No!
Alan's spun.
How did that happen?
He just got it on the curb, coming through 6 on the exit curb.
Oh, that's a horrible way for him to finish.
Yeah, it's really not nice. Oh, he's moving now.
Moving now. Where is the McLaren? Where's the McLaren? It can't be far away.
He is. You know, whether it's a bit of a vibration or a feel, or is the gearbox sounding strange, or is the engine?
Checking up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, it's never nice. It's the gap. That was 15 seconds, but through the final corner, number 26 G-Drive car takes the flag. What a great win. Absolutely
fantastic win for G-Drive Racing. The hour is 01 for Ferdinand Habsburg, bringing that car home. Yifei brilliant in the middle part of that race to fend off Stoffel van Dorn. A fault-free run for the 26 hours from G-Drive Racing would earn them the win as others stumbled in the class. United Autosports 23 had a similarly clean run to the lead and the win in the LMP3 class. And Precoat Herberth took full advantage of that last-minute stumble, their 99 car ahead of the GPX Racing car, which would drop to 4th after a post-race penalty. Beyond that, there were battles galore further down the field as we got to the conclusion of the first round of what's going to be a concise, quick-fire Asian Le Mans series. Well, bright sunshine after a foggy start at the Dubai Autodrome, and the record 36-car grid got underway with a first corner lunge from Sean Galel, shaking up the order. The number 7 McLaren didn't seem to be in the running at first, with a dominant display for the GPX Racing Porsche, but a very last-minute spin from Alan Ferte handed the win to the number 99 Precoat Herberth car. Alfred Renard bringing home the car that had been anchored by his twin brother to a great win for the German team in the number 99 Porsche. In LMP3, third place for the number 3 United Autosports car. Another push at the end. Great run too from the number 9 defending championship winning car last year from Nielsen Racing, but they couldn't touch what was a dominant display from United's number 23 car, Wayne Boyd, the European champion last year, looking to see what he can do to put his name on another ACO Rules trophy for 2021. In LMP2, rather assaulted at the start of the race, the Phoenix Racing car bundled out the lead by this car, and a few problems didn't stop though the 28 Jota car from coming home in second place. Couldn't touch though an absolutely stellar display for the number 26 G-Drive Racing Aris 01. They would come home the first winners of the 2021 season. G-Drive Racing with Algar Pro, they topped the times. Another debutante in endurance racing. I am utterly delighted to say congratulations, Yifei.
Thanks a lot. First of all, I have to thank the team for doing the fantastic job for preparing the car perfectly, so we have them in the best condition possible. Yeah, for me it was quite a challenge because I haven't driven the car until Tuesday, so it was the first experience for me this week. So without doing any testing pre-season, I'm pretty happy with my qualifying result. First of all, yesterday, and then today we had a flawless race from my teammates Rene and Ferdinand, so very happy about that. And a bit unlucky for our sister car. We could have finished maybe 1-2, but sometimes you don't always have the best luck in racing. But yeah, happy with that. First sports car race for me and first win. So yeah, looking forward to the race tomorrow.
Fantastic stuff. Yifei, the whole G-Drive Racing team, congratulations on a faultless run that just kept everybody else at bay. And we get to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much.
With full COVID protocols in place, there was no chance for podium celebrations in Dubai, but the Age of Le Mans Series made sure that every trophy winner got the spoils for the race. Well, it didn't lack for incident, it didn't lack for action. At the end, we got drama.
We did.
Much of the kind of the real racing for position was not necessarily for the wins in the major classes, other than that drama for Alan Furte at the end. But if that's what we've got to look forward to for another 4 hours tomorrow and then 2 more 4 hours next weekend,
It's great racing.
it would have been a trip well worth making.
What an incredible start to the new season, 2021 Asian Le Mans Series. Gosh, I mean, here we are, right? 2021, everything's so different. The format is so different now, but thanks so much. I had a lot of fun here in the pit lane, hanging out, talking to the different the drivers, and I hope you have also been thoroughly entertained. It was a very hot day. Race 1 is officially over. Race 2 will commence tomorrow. Good night, take care, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.